Hey, here is Tatiana of Eurovision, and Eurovision 2019 has just finished in Tel Aviv. Let's discuss the results. It was probably the most exciting voting we have ever seen in the history of Eurovision. And there is a reason to that, because the system of voting this year has been a little bit changed, is a little bit different, because from now on the points from the televoters are announced from the countries, starting from the countries which juries voted for as the last ones. So we are starting from those who got 0 points or 5 points or 10 points, and then moving those to those who were most awarded by jury, but not necessarily by the public, and that happened a lot in this Eurovision. Let's go! The first one, the biggest news is, of course, the Netherlands have won Eurovision 2019, so next year we are all going to Amsterdam or The Hague. We do not know yet the city which is going to host, but it is for sure that next year we are all going to the Netherlands. The song stood out from day one, and people already put the Netherlands at their #1 spot back in February or even January, and from then on the song just remained on the top spot in the betting notes. So, well, nothing new under the sky. For me, it was a little bit too predictable that the Netherlands won. Not that I do not think the song deserves it, the song absolutely deserves it, but Duncan Laurence was very relaxed, as if he already knew that he was winning, and the performance could have been put more effort into, let's be honest. Well, my own feeling is that, of course, there were many factors to why the Netherlands won. They had a very favorable position in the finals. Yeah, that is just like Russian Sergei Lazarev, just like Malta, just like Swedish John Lundvik. They all took, this paper saying that they are going, the allocation draw, that they are going to be performing in the first half of the final. But the first half is also quite large, right? There are 26 countries altogether, and in the first half, Duncan Laurence from the Netherlands got to perform as the 12th. That is almost the end of the first half of the final, and that is a very favorable position. While, for example, Russia's Sergei Lazarev got to perform as #5, John Lundvik not so far away from him, and what do we see? They did not get that high a result as predicted, as bet. Let's go to Italy.
Penso più veloce per capire se domani tu mi fregherai. Non ho tempo per chiarire perché solo ora so cosa sei. È difficile stare al mondo quando
From day one, this clicked on, and
in un giorno tu dimmi se pensavi solo ai soldi, soldi, come se avanti te ne fotti.
Italy kind of broke many people's expectations this year. I mean, many press and media expectations, because betting odds were not in favor of Italy until the last day. Only on the day of the finals, suddenly Italy flew to #2 in the bets, but that does not mean that people believed in the song. It was just this, like rushed last day changes, because people already sort of started seeing what was happening in the semi-finals, and then the expectations grew for the big five, yeah. But in fact, nobody really even thought Italy to be top 2, top 3. From all the people I've asked in the press center, in the media, there were hardly any high hopes for Italy to go as high as #2 or 3 in the finals, and they ended up the second. The way the audience supported Mahmoud, and it was such a stylish performance in the finals. People said, yeah, but the performance was not really a lot of movement, a lot of action. It was very stylish. The colors were on point. It was a very memorable performance, and if this had been accentuated a little bit more, and if Italy had just put a tiny bit more effort into their staging, into how Mahmoud moves on stage, we would have probably seen Italy win. Or would we? Because I have a strong feeling that there would be no scenario, there was no scenario in which Italy or any other country would have won the Eurovision 2019, it was so obvious and predicted that the Netherlands would still get the first spot. What do you guys think? And then Russia got unexpectedly the third place.
Not so silent and innocent. I see rain from your fingerprints. Echoes, rivers of loneliness. Echoes of my heart. They scream.
Why unexpectedly? Well, because from actually January, February, Russia was in the bets as number 2, and then it went down, because less and less people believed in the song after it appeared. Scream did not produce such a screaming effect as many of us expected after your number one. And yeah, the song was not as memorable as the previous entry from Sergei Lazarev. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that jury gave it the 9th spot only, televoters gave it the 4th. And that is again a huge discrepancy this year, but not just the fact that the jury gave it 9th in total, but the fact that 17 countries juries gave Lazarev 0 points. 0. Do you actually even believe that? When Lazarev came with My Number One, back in 2016, right? 20 countries, so the juries from 20 countries gave him a total 0. That blows my mind. That is just like, why even go to Eurovision, and why should Russia even send great acts like that to Eurovision and worry so much about staging if the jurors just flush him down the toilet every time, you know? I honestly feel that there was a lot against Russia this year. Just like every year, Russia has to break through the jurors, stereotypical behavior. It had a bad running order, right? Position. It was number 5. It was performing in the first half, and the clip which was chosen to be shown as this recap clip. Oh my God! Every country had the chorus or the best moment of their performance. While they chose something like before the second chorus, with Lazarev standing in this, shower cabin, as I call it. Not even the chorus, not even the most memorable part, or no, how did they suddenly change from what we saw previously on the recap in semi-finals and stuff to this weird moment? I have no words, honestly, no comments. Then Russia, of course, had to kick ass, and then the following recaps, they already showed the chorus in the recaps, better moments, of course, but for many people it already didn't matter, because the first video that they see on the recap, many people don't even watch the whole Eurovision, they just vote from what they saw on the recap. And what did they see on the recap? A big surprise this year, and a lovely surprise, was Switzerland getting to number 4 in the finals. Once everybody saw the videos from the rehearsals and the videos from the semi-final, and how high Switzerland actually got in the semi-finals, immediately the stakes rose for Switzerland to take the top 5 spot, and it was. They came as number 4. And this is Switzerland's best result since 1993, when Annie Cotton got the 3rd place for Switzerland. Many years after that, Switzerland was not successful at all, and for the past 4 years it didn't even qualify. And a few years in the history of Switzerland, it even refused to participate, simply because they had been failing all the time to qualify, and they lost hope for even being in the final. And here we have Luca Hani going as high as number 4. After I really rewatched the final performance by Luca Hani, I have to say he was not in his best voice. He was totally out of breath, and I totally disliked the fact that it was dancers dressed in red, and the red background was it? Yeah, so a red on red. It didn't really click. It didn't really look outstanding, and I think the staging could have been much better than that, much better. But I will still disagree with those who say that Switzerland's "She Got Me Dirty Dancing" was like a Despacito chewing gum. No, it was a great song actually, and it's my actually second favorite song this whole year. Who came at number 5? Norway. Norway. Not to say no way, but jury would no way let it be as high as people voting in front of their screens. People gave it number 1. Their choice was not even for the Netherlands, not even for Russia, for Italy, Switzerland, but Norway got number 1 position in televotes. Oh my god, and consistently in the semi-final and the final. Oh wow, like, but then again, you know, the positivity of the band, how much they connected to the public. They participated pretty much in every pre-show, pre-party of Eurovision. They connected to fans, to media.
I hear you calling me at night.
Whenever wind is blowing,
Hola, Eloila. I can see your spirit in the sky.
when all the lights are dancing,
Hola, Eloila. Giant and Joker.
The song is just bursting with positivity, and people really believe in what they're doing, and you can feel it. They really are this united, you know, 3 people who come from absolutely different background with absolutely different singing ranges and abilities, and at the same time everybody adds a little bit of the ingredients to this salad, let's put it this way. This is Norway's very high result, what Alexander Bach couldn't do last year, so Norway should be jumping. Did you see Alexander crying so much when she heard that they got more than 200 points, which actually made them the favorites of televoters all over the European countries? Wow, wow. Less wow though, unfortunately, is Swedish result. As John Lundvik sang in his song, "Maybe I'll lit your world with just one spark."
Maybe I will let you know with just one spark. I can make it burn for you and me. If I will be there, I won't be there. Hear me, I can be the sun that lets your
Well, he didn't manage to lit the world with just one spark. Unfortunately, it got only position number 9 with people, while jury put him first. Well, you know, I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. And jury keeps giving their 12 points to Sweden all the time, and Sweden ends up as everybody's favorite. Every jury's favorite. It doesn't even matter much what kind of song that they put out. I have the feeling that no matter what, be it Benjamin and Grosso last year, who people didn't appreciate as much, or the great singer John Lundvik this year, but still people did not connect to the song as much as the jurors. But I have a feeling that if jurors don't put Sweden high up there in the rankings, probably Spotify will ban their songs from the playlists, and some very important connections and among labels and recording agencies will be simply broken. That's just my personal, conspiracy, but there is something about that Sweden has been consistently number 1, 2, 3 with the jurors, and winning many times over the past few years. Did you see the face of John Lundvik when people gave them only 93 points? Oh my god, such a discrepancy of jury votes and televotes. People will be talking about it for a long time now. people did not expect, I mean, what media did not expect that much actually, and what betting people have not expected is that Australia would go so low. Australia only managed to crawl as high as number 9 in the overall result, with actually funnily enough being number 6 and number 7 in jury and televotes, but then combined they made only the 9th position for Australia. The phenomenon of not liking Australian song that much, I try to understand for myself. Well, my own feeling is that yeah, the song is simply not good enough despite a wonderful performance, and I was not a fan of this bending around basically before the final rehearsals when it all came together. And then I asked from people around me, and somebody said, no, she does not look angelic with this crown and even in her light dress, with all of this motion and the stick. Funnily enough, some people mentioned that they looked like witches on the sticks. And then I started thinking, you know what, it might have appeared this way, at least to younger voters, you know. Well, I have to admit, she did not deliver, Kate Miller-Heidke did not deliver her best vocals that night, she did not. And in the rehearsal, like actually even in the jury show right before the final, what jury consider, you know, the most important one for themselves, that's when they give the votes, she did not really stand out as prominently as she did in the semi-final before. And so you guys know, in the semi-final Australia came first. She did come first, and that was way more deserved, you know. But something happened, I don't know, she was too nervous or not in her best vocal capacity, but she didn't manage to deliver as well as she did in the semi-finals. Sorry for Australia, sorry Kate, I know Australia loves you and many fans love you, but not enough all over Europe. Iceland, let's talk about that. Well, we're going to have a special video called WTF Moments. So in this one I'm not going to talk about what happened with the flag, you know which flag I'm talking about. Iceland, many predicted to be in top 5, some even in top 3, and some were even talking about possibly winning the competition, while the result was that they came not only 10th, just closing the top 10. A jury gave them only 14th, the 14th spot. People gave them much more, people gave them 6th. The 6th spot, and that was way more adequate. I'm sorry, but jurors should have revisited what they saw, you know, and what they heard. I don't know how they really judged to give it as low as 14th spot. I was never a big fan of the song itself, and I actually mentioned, you should have listened to Blogovision, to Tatiana, no? That the song itself is very average and not outstanding in terms of its own genre. And if jurors analyzed it from the point of view of how good a rock song or an electronic song it is, it was neither here nor there. And the performance, of course, made up for it, but singers are very young, not in their, like, their voices are not yet very mature, not very, not at their peak. Funnily enough, Iceland actually became the winner of the in the televotes ranking in the second semi-final. Could you believe that? And that's all for today, that's all for right now. We've analyzed the top 10, I have just given you my reaction comments and everything, and we'll talk in more detail about all the shocks and wow and the WTF moments of this Eurovision. So far, enjoy the rest of the day, and please subscribe, and don't forget this notification button, the bell, so that you can see when the new videos come out, and don't forget to write in the comments who your top 3 was, which results you're disappointed about, which you're happy about. Let's talk, let's chat, let's discuss, let's do everything, and let's see you in our next video. So stay tuned. Enjoy the day. Bye!